We are going to sell Sega Saturns not because it is easy, but because it is hard. Starting way back, there was this random ass dude named Saddam Hussein who decided he would love to be the dictator of Iraq. The United States also got the idea that he would love the PlayStation 2. And he did. He bought 1,400 of them. It was said that he wanted to use the computing power of the PlayStation 2 to control weapons of mass destruction and put them all together in some way that I don't know, with a LAN cable? Who knows? So we went to war with Iraq to get those PS2s back. Yeah, that's what that war was about. 9/11 was bad. Nearly everyone agrees. And so did Konami and Hideo Kojima. Metal Gear Solid 2 was extremely close to release, and its final boss fight takes place in downtown Manhattan. Originally, the game included a scene where Arsenal gear, I'm not explaining this, ravaged downtown Manhattan until Raiden and the President of the United States fought with katanas on top of Federal Hall. The more this game ages, the more it sounds like something that could actually happen. So out of respect for the victims of 9/11 and New York City, they cut that scene from the game. An honorable thing to do, just like our next title, Medal of Honor. Specifically the Medal of Honor reboot. So Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare caught the entire FPS genre with its pants down. Publishers did not want to leave World War II, so all the other big FPS series of the decade had to quickly play catch up. Medal of Honor used to be huge 20 years ago. 20 years ago? Oh my god. So to see Call of Duty overtake it, which is, by the way, like the original Medal of Honor team, it must have stung a little. So the Medal of Honor reboot is modern day, and by that I mean 2010. And if you've ever played it, it feels pretty close to the Modern Warfare games. However, with far less fictional elements. Now, I don't know who at Danger Close thought that people would just be cool with this idea, but in the multiplayer mode, you had your actual US forces on one team, and then the other team was, wait for it, the Taliban. US Congress people in general caught wind of this, and they went on a field day about video game violence and yada yada yada. Now, it's just like, of course this would be controversial, and maybe it's like the thing of like any publicity is good publicity, but I don't know. For anyone younger watching this, you really miss the tail end of video games being blamed for everything like movies, TV, and rock and roll were before that. It's almost gone extinct, but I used to hear adults, I'm an adult, but I always used to hear people older than me just go, what about Pong? Whatever happened to Pong? I don't know. What happened to Wheel and Stick? What happened to Ball and Cup? What happened to 6 Days in Fallujah? I'm really killing it with the segues today. Originally slated for release in 2010, the game was supposed to be a very accurate depiction of what happened during the Battle of Fallujah during the Iraq War. Again, controversy caused Konami, then publisher of the game, to pull out, and for a long time it became a part of gaming history until it was revived and released in 2023. Last war game, I promise. I promise I did not have relations with that Nintendo 64. Advance Wars, the remake for Switch, was indefinitely delayed because of the war in Ukraine. Other than 6 Days in Fallujah, I can't think of another time a war game was canceled or delayed because of an actual war, especially a game as cartoonish as Advance Wars. I think I remember hearing someone explain once that Nintendo was worried about the urban setting and maybe the vaguely Eastern European characters. Nintendo would release the game a year later anyways, and as of this recording, it's still happening, so hey, remember 2020? Yeah. PS5 and Xbox Series X/X were launching, and because people couldn't really be around each other, it was kind of tough to produce a lot of systems. And since people couldn't really be around each other, there were a lot of people who wanted a new PlayStation and Xbox. It was difficult to get either system for quite a while, especially PlayStation, and COVID also delayed the development of hundreds, if not thousands of games. Bringing it back full circle, prices are going up for these 5-year-old pieces of hardware. I'm not sure that's happened in any previous generation, but, you know, thanks Tariffs. It is insanity that in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, 50% of people still cannot afford a PlayStation 5. But I'm gonna end on a fun one. I promise. I'm gonna end on a lighter note. I'm gonna end with something good. You're gonna like this one. And one that has so much research for me put into it, you're gonna be astounded at this discovery. I found a forum post from like 1998 of this one dude asking if the Sega Dreamcast would work after Y2K. So make sure to thank Sega that you can still play your Sega Dreamcast. Whew! World events, am I right? I wish they would stop, but if they stopped, what would be happening? I don't know. It's not very deep. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, leave a subscribe. I really appreciate it. And see you on the next one.